For centuries, one of the most mysterious places on Earth has remained almost completely closed to the outside world. Hidden behind massive walls in the heart of Rome lies a collection of documents so vast, so ancient, and so secretive that many historians believe it may contain some of the most important records in human history. This place is known as the Vatican Secret Archives. Located within the walls of the independent city-state known as Vatican City, the archives are said to stretch for nearly 85 kilometers of underground shelving. Within these corridors are documents that span over 1,000 years of history. Letters from kings, records of trials, ancient manuscripts, theological debates, and perhaps even texts that challenge the official narrative of history itself. For a long time, the very name Secret Archives fueled speculation around the world. Many imagined hidden chambers filled with forbidden knowledge, suppressed gospels, and documents that could rewrite the story of Christianity. But the word secret was not originally meant to imply conspiracy. It came from the Latin word secretum, meaning private. In other words, these archives were simply the personal records of the Pope. Still, that explanation has never completely silenced the questions. Access to the archives has always been extremely restricted. Only qualified scholars are allowed to enter, and even then, they must apply months in advance and specify exactly which documents they wish to study. Wandering freely through the archives is impossible. Researchers are escorted, monitored, and limited in what they can request, which naturally leads many people to wonder, what exactly is being protected within those walls? Among the most fascinating documents known to exist in the archives is a record connected to one of the most famous trials in history, the trial of the Knights Templar. The Knights Templar were a powerful medieval order founded during the Crusades. Officially, they were protectors of Christian pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land. But over time, they became far more influential than anyone expected. They built vast networks of wealth, power, and influence across Europe. By the early 14th century, the order had become so powerful that kings themselves began to feel threatened. One of those kings was Philip IV of France. Deeply in debt to the Templars, Philip suddenly accused them of heresy, blasphemy, and secret rituals. In 1307, members of the order were arrested across France in a coordinated operation. Many were tortured. Many confessed to crimes historians still debate today. For centuries, the official story was simple. The Knights Templar were guilty, and the Church suppressed their dangerous practices. But documents discovered within the Vatican Archives later suggested something very different. One manuscript, known as the Chinon Parchment, revealed that Pope Clement V may have actually absolved the Templars of the charges against them. If true, it would mean that the order was destroyed not because of religious corruption, but because of political pressure. And that revelation raises a disturbing question. How many other historical narratives might be incomplete? The Vatican Archives also contain correspondence with some of the most powerful rulers in history: emperors, kings, and revolutionaries. There are letters believed to have been written by figures such as Michelangelo, and even documents related to the trial of Galileo Galilei, whose scientific discoveries once challenged the authority of the Church. In 1610, Galileo used a telescope to observe the heavens and concluded that Earth was not the center of the universe. This idea conflicted with the prevailing interpretation of Scripture, and Galileo was eventually tried by the Church's Inquisition. Records of that trial are preserved in the archives, a reminder that history is often shaped by the tension between knowledge and authority. But beyond the well-documented historical records lies a deeper layer of mystery. Over the years, rumors have circulated about documents that few outsiders have ever seen. Some claim the archives contain lost gospels, texts written in the earliest centuries of Christianity that present alternative perspectives on the life and teachings of Jesus. Others speculate about ancient manuscripts describing events that were considered too controversial to include in the official biblical canon. While many of these claims remain unproven, the secrecy surrounding the archives ensures that speculation never disappears. And perhaps the most intriguing aspect of the Vatican Archives is not what we know they contain, but what we may never see. History is written by those who preserve the records. But what happens when access to those records is limited? Does it protect the truth or shape it? In recent years, the Vatican has taken small steps toward greater transparency, gradually opening certain collections to historians. Each time a new section becomes available, scholars discover forgotten letters, unexpected testimonies, and documents that reveal how complex the past truly was. Yet, even with these efforts, the vast majority of the archives remain unexplored. Kilometers of shelves, millions of documents, centuries of unanswered questions. Some historians believe the archives simply preserve the administrative history of the Church. Others believe they may hold pieces of a much larger puzzle, fragments of stories that were never meant to be widely known. Perhaps the truth lies somewhere between myth and reality. But one thing is certain: behind the walls of the Vatican, history is still waiting to be fully understood. And until every document is opened and every page is studied, the mysteries of the Vatican Archives will continue to inspire curiosity, speculation, and debate. If you enjoy exploring hidden history and sacred mysteries, subscribe to the channel and join us as we uncover the secrets that shaped our world.